Good morning, and good day to everyone joining me here at All for Success. I'm so glad that you guys could be here and join in. Hang on a second, let me do a quick test here. I'm looking at, okay. So, what I would like to say is, hey, thanks for being here this morning. Where I am here in the USA, the middle of the world here, we have a very beautiful day. So I'm excited, but it looks like it's going to get very, very hot. So I'm glad that you guys took some time out of your morning to join in for All for Success. This is a very Sussex friendly space. I love to get that announcement out there and on the record right away, just in case someone is confused. Now, being a Sussex friendly space also means that I might talk about other things I'm supposed to, and if I can ever get to them, but most of the time I'll end up rambling, and you guys never get to hear me to speak on much else except something happening with our wonderful young Sussex family. But that being said, if this is a Sussex friendly space. Now, here's the fun part. Even though I'm Sussex friendly, I'm not really mean to anyone else, but I will speak on what I think is true. Okay? So let's keep that in mind as we chit chat here in this wonderful moment. Now, on the screen, you see that coffee being made. So, everybody, get ready, get your coffee together if that's what you're going to do while I'm sitting here talking. Or if you have a mind to be out running errands and you have headphones in, well, you can listen while you're doing that, and maybe it'll help those errands go faster or smoother. And before you know it, you'll be finished. Isn't that great? At least I think so. So, just before I get started, I want to say my good mornings to folks who came in real quick. So, good morning. That's from me, by the way. And then quickly, I would like to say hello and good morning. And also to King Concepts, thank you for being here. That's my backdoor checker. And thanks also for Joyce Anderson. Good morning to you. And welcome to All for Success. Thank you so much for being here early this morning. I tell you, it's hard to get myself going, but lately I have been waking up about the time the sun rises, and that's the fun part. So we're going to see how much we can do here. Now, here's what I want to let you all know as I comb through my slide deck. Okay, I'm going to try to pull them up without making a big mess. Okay. All right. And oh, I forgot. I always like to tell you guys, if you can, put in the chat if you're doing any type of fitness program or if you're working on any type of fitness routines like walking every day or jogging every day, or if you're doing some sort of aerobics, let us know how it's going. Let us know how you're doing because I love to hear about that. The reason is it helps motivate me. So I always put in the post, what I'm going to type in here today is that let's say I went for a bike ride. I know you're going to hear me typing. And it was twice this week. And I think it was about maybe approximately, I'm going to say 1 mile each time. Okay. So look, if you've got something to report, let us know what it is because it helps keep me on the up and moving along. So as I wanted to remind you, I'm sure I said it before, please hit the like button. Don't forget to do that. Share with a friend or two if you think they're interested in all things Sussex. And there's a notification bell. Sometimes if you click that, it will let you know when I am going to be going live. The problem is it's also going to tell you when I'm on live making mistakes. So sometimes you'll just have to live through that. All right. Okay, so let me gather my wits here. You guys give me just 1 second to gather myself together and get my thoughts together. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Um, if you're up doing your fitness stuff, let's move on into that. Now, for everyone, I'm sorry for that short delay, but listen, today, as was pictured, I don't know if you all were paying attention last night. There was a notification, so a small letter written, and a notification from the Princess Catherine, indicating that she would attend Trooping of Colors, or at least try to participate with Trooping of Colors in some way. She was letting everyone know a day early that she was going to be at Trooping of Color, right? Of course, this hit the internet and Twitter space by storm, right? Everyone was analyzing, is this real? Is it not real? There was a picture, a photo, which was sent out for this announcement. And that photo was, of course, hashed over from, why were there edits in it and not blah, blah, blah. The usual with the photos coming from Buckingham Kensington Palace. So anyway, she made this announcement. She was going to be at Trooping. And guess what? Trooping has already occurred because we're on a time difference. We're a little, maybe 6 hours behind. So they've already done that. And it would seem that she did appear at Trooping. So let's talk a little bit about that. All right. Always remember that our wonderful couple, the Sussex couple, whatever they're doing things behind the scenes. Whatever comes up next, it'll be a surprise. That's just how they have to roll. And I think that's wonderful. But we'll go on with that. So the Trooping of the Colors. Well, in the UK, this is a super parade, right? It's a parade that is to show somewhat the military pomp and pageantry, and it kind of stems back from a long gone era. That's when wars and battles were fought on horseback or on foot, hand to hand combat, and things like that. And so this became a popular type of show of the UK's military abilities. And so this is Trooping of Color. And it usually ends with a wonderful flyover of whatever their fanciest aircraft are, or some of the big aircraft. And they get to watch, some of the maneuvers of their Royal Air Force. And that's always a fun thing. So for young kids, especially school-age children, the Trooping of Color would be fantastic to watch. It appears that this began with Charles II, as I've written up here, and it looks like this started somewhere around 1700s. And then it started to be the type of thing that they would do to celebrate the birthday of the monarch. So that's kind of the history behind it. Well, for us on the US side of the world, it's a parade. Okay. So that's how we see it. And then you think, okay, great. It's in honor of a birthday. Isn't that fabulous? And that's one of those things. And Queen Elizabeth generally attended. From what I've had noted in some of the reports, is that she has attended practically all of them, and that she only missed maybe one or two. And so, of course, with that being the set record, right? In general, most of the royal family definitely make it their business to attend the events up to the Trooping of Color and the dinners and the luncheons and the things that will follow. So it's somewhat important to be there, and it's really great to make a show at that event because it's quite a large public event. So that's kind of the background of Trooping of the Color. Now, I snagged a couple of these photos from the event today. I don't know if you can see them clearly because, of course, it might be smaller for you. But generally, like I said before, it's a grand formation of soldiers. And in that grand formation, you have the soldiers who are in all of their wonderful regalia. These are the redcoats, right? From the USA, from the USA point of view, the redcoats, okay? And then they wear their very high, very tall hats. And these hats, I've been told, are, if I'm not mistaken, buffalo, if I am not mistaken. And they say that they're very, very hot. So to be able to stand at attention for those lengthy periods of time, as you all recall, I believe last year they had several soldiers that would bow out or fall out, kind of pass out during these formations. And if you've ever been in the military during a long formation or pass and review, trust me, especially if it's in the summer, you will typically get to a point, if you do something, they used to call it you had to be careful not to pull your knees back. So they would say, don't lock your knees. And so most of the time, if you stood kind of with your knees bent slightly, you could somewhat prevent that lack of blood flow that would make you fall out. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm giving you military tips, but here, there is one. Okay. But I know last year they had those type of incidents. And then of course, on the other side, um, we have um, we have the men on horseback. The men on horseback. Um, they are definitely dressed to the nines, and the horses are super trained to maneuver in all of those formations. And that too is supposed to show their super skill and their talent and the ability for them to maneuver the way that they do. So, yeah, beautiful parade, wonderful. And then, of course, here's the fun feature for all of the royal participants, all of the people who are royal or of the monarchy, and they also have skill on horseback. It is a treat, I'm sure, for them to hop up on horseback and to ride in the formation with these military troops. Queen, I was about to say Queen Anne. Can you believe that? The Queen's sister, uh, help me out, daughter, Anne. The Queen's daughter, Anne, is a very, very professional horseback rider. She even competed in the Olympics. So she's generally on horseback. Charles was often on horseback, but they felt that maybe at this time he should ride in a carriage. And then, of course, Prince William, horseback. And in the past, Prince Harry, of course, on horseback. And in general, if they can ride in horseback in the formation, they generally do. So that's also a part of Trooping of the Colors. So again, back to that long parade. So this is what she announced that she would be attending today. She was in attendance today. And what I don't have is a balcony photo. And I'm sure you guys are going to see tons of them. So I didn't include one here. But in the balcony photo, um, there's Kate, her children, and Prince William. And then, of course, in the center is the king and the queen, right? And then to his other side, I believe, was Sophie and Edward, I think. And I believe Anne was also a little bit down. But pretty much that was it. So, in the wonderful words, what do you say, in the way of you having to swallow the words that you have put out, you wanted your slim down monarchy. Well, there it is. You didn't want to consort with anyone who is not a working royal. Okay, so there they are. And I do not know how the mindset of the UK persons, people of the UK feel, but if I were looking at that as a parent, from my eyes, I see a dwindling and disappearing family. I did not see growth, and I did not see a huge amount of future. Now, the three children, well, it's all on them because everyone else is present and past. So when it comes to the future, there wasn't a lot of that up on the balcony. All right. So that's just my take on Trooping of the Colors. Okay. Sorry for going on about it. but that is how I saw it. I would love to know how you all interpreted what you saw. I didn't see a lot of friendliness. I saw the standard um, turn and comment from the folks who were on the balcony, like extras in a movie. Okay. I didn't see a great deal of enthusiasm. I didn't see the kids. Okay, of course, they're not American kids, so they wouldn't behave this way. But I did not see, the gleeful jumping up and down and the, rip roaring times that our American kids would generally have, pointing at the jets. And it was, in my view, and this could just simply be my own, what is it, my own age staring back at me. I just saw a very routine semblance of pageantry. I didn't see anything that jumped out to me and screamed, gee, isn't this exciting and fun? But of course, I am looking at it through the eyes of the red, white, and blue of the United States. I'm sorry. I do apologize. But I saw quite a, less than enthusiastic event. But maybe you saw something different. Now, on to and I promise, you know what? I promise y'all, this type today it's going to be a little short anyway because there's not a lot of hoopla out there right now because everyone is in a holding pattern for the next feature of things that when Harry and Meghan come back in public, how much venom can be spilled upon them. Okay, so but in the meantime, again, last night we had the photo of Kate and her letter, okay? And then here she is as they are coming to the Trooping of Color, her with the kids. And of course, it was wonderful that all of the children were able to attend. And she donned her white and her white hat. So she looked very elegant. And, of course, people are going to pick these photos apart because they're going to be looking for signs of illness, signs of weakness, signs of deception, because that's where this wonderful royal firm has taken everyone. They have taken everyone to this place where you do not believe anything they tell you and you don't believe half of what you see, right? This is the world of the current royal firm. So they're just going to have to deal with that. And I am certain that over the next few days, there's going to be a lot of features where these are picked apart, but it's going to be entertaining. And I hope that we can all enjoy some of the nonsense as well as um, keep an eye on what might be happening in the background. Okay. Because I am certain that even though there's parade and all of this stuff is happening out in front, I can pretty much guarantee you, even if we will never know, that it is to be in front of other things that are happening in the background, especially in the UK. Now, what I don't have a picture of, but you all can be sure that the protesters were also out there and they made a show of making their points with their giant yellow signs. They are definitely in the down with the crown mode. So I'll give her a little bit of a thumbs up for being able to come out. Now, I can't help but make a couple of comments. Okay. And they're not super bad. They're just things to think about. Many people had speculated, that she had come to some extreme or grave harm. These kinds of things you never know. You can only speculate. Now you've been told, of course, that she's undergoing some very intense physical or medical procedures. Okay. So you have to take that in with whatever what is it, whatever validation you feel you need. Now we're looking at, okay, wonder why she popped out at this. Well, this is a big event for the UK. It's a very public event for the UK. And when you think again of that balcony photo, right? It's thin with her in it. So with her not in it, it would have been horrific as a view. So I think that whatever needed to be done to have her pop up, I think that the royal firm and all those around probably did double the work to ensure that she would show up for this. Because believe it or not, and I say that with in tongue in cheek, no matter how much the royal firm attempts to make everyone irrelevant, like they tried to do with Harry and Meghan, it is extremely obvious that the other people who are in and around the royal family, or rather in and around the heirs to the throne, that these people are significant in their own way, right? And Kate, being the mother of the future king, that is a very significant person, especially after they spent 4 years of throwing her into the limelight in an attempt to compete and counter Meghan Markle or the Duchess of Sussex. They took this young lady and tried to twist and bend her into a figurine that could actually cope with and operate at the level that the Duchess of Sussex, when left alone, can operate, right? And that was probably very stressful. I mean, that alone is stressful. So, anyway, I would venture a possible thought that whatever type of negotiations might be going on in that world, or whatever type of conflict that might be happening behind the scenes, I think it became extremely visible, extremely noticeable, that if something wasn't done to try and have her appear there, that they were going to run into some serious problems. So if there is any plot to put her aside or to remove her from being a factor in public, they're going to have a difficult time. They're going to have a difficult time. So if you want me to throw out any type of conspiracy theories, and I call these conspiracy theories only because um, it's just my theory, and I did not have to conspire. But I would not doubt that if you follow along, follow the dotted line, you might begin to see that the financial troubles of the Middletons, you might see that soon disappear. Correct? You may start to see that whatever financial difficulties they've been experiencing, I lay you 10 to 1, those things are probably going to start to go into the background, especially if what was required for her to make this appearance was a negotiation of sorts. So I want you to keep that in mind. I'm just throwing that out there. Why? Because I like to throw mess in the pond. Okay? But if in fact there were any type of shenanigans happening offside, I think in the next few months we're going to get a hint of what they are. Now it was intriguing. Let's move it along. Moving along. It was intriguing, and an intriguing announcement that occurred also early in this week, because now it seems that they want to always tell us what the royal family members are up to. And it was announced for some unknown reason that um, it was announced for some unknown reason that Prince William made a trip to MI6. And for no specific information being given beyond that point, which makes sense. It would be like announcing that um, Sasha Obama went to visit the CIA. Okay, yeah. You're not going to hear a whole lot more after that. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to run down real quick. Here's what MI6 does. Okay, so MI6 is basically a foreign intelligence service. And I said again at the bottom, liken it to the CIA if you're in the USA. They are they spend a lot of time um, paying attention to what might be happening on the international stage that could negatively affect the country that is the subject, which is the UK. So when you think of Prince William maybe going to visit MI6, well, it could be for a number of things. Maybe he's interested in doing some work internationally, because now he's being billed as, what's the key word? I'm sure we can all say it together: statesman. Okay. He's being billed as, and they're trying to give him this term, statesman, right? Okay, because that's a popular term for an international, um, a man known, or woman known internationally and well regarded for their input and their ability to sometimes negotiate, the term statesman. Yeah. So this is what the UK would like for us to bill him as. Okay. And perhaps this visit was for him to get an idea, and maybe an introduction to the types of things or the type of role that he could have. So we will just have to wait and see about that. Now, if you wanted to do other type of theoreticals, right? If people wanted to go way down in the deep dark web, then you could speculate, oh my gosh, that's an agency that is hired, that they'll be using to cover up something. Well, if it was necessary, yes, that would be an agency that would be able to do that. If there is an agency that you want to generate fake um, information, or if you want to have people embed in other countries and create distractions and disturbances, yes, it's the agency that would do that, right? And this is also something that people could say, well, maybe they're doing something like that. Well, hey, maybe, because these are the type of things that these agencies can do, right? Now, I'm not saying that that's what they're doing. I'm saying that's what they are capable of doing. It is their capability. Why? Because they are foreign intelligence services. They can also create situations and put sound bites in the ears of leaders worldwide. Let's say things like, don't let your people invite Harry and Meghan to your country. They can do that too. I just thought I would throw that out there because that too is possible, right? You can embed all types of negative opinion of people by utilizing some of the resources of a foreign intelligence service, because they often have people working everywhere, right? There are people working everywhere with their ear to the ground to try to keep track of what might be happening and things that might be said and done that would impact another nation. So let's think about that. Let's put that in what do they say? Put a pin in that. Keep your thoughts on that and put a pin in it. So when you know why Prince William visited MI6, that those are the types of things that come to my mind. So you tell me what you think. Okay, all right. So before I go, before I go to the next layer, let's go back one more time, folks. I need to say to each and every one of you, thank you again for being here. Thank you again. You know what I'm going to do? Because I like some of these musical attachments, I'm going to give you guys another round of applause for being here. Thank you so much for being here. I am so glad to see each and every one of you. And I'm going to see, let's see who else is in here and commenting. Oh my gosh, guys, it's too many. It's too many comments. There's no way I can keep up with this. I'm not one of those super squatties. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, people? It's you're super squatties. Okay, I'll hit the highlights that I can. I would like to say good morning and thank you, Raffaella Bertoni, for being here. I love to see the super squatties. And she was saying hello to someone else in our feed. Let's see who else we got here. I got more from Raffaella Bertoni. Thank you again. It's so great to have you here. I would like to say good morning also to Lorna Williams. Thank you too much for being here. You know what, guys? It warms my heart to see that some of you guys can be here and hang out with me. I really appreciate it. Now, Raffaella Bertone said also that Kate has really let me see, but Kate has really the cancer. Well, if you have a question, I bet a whole lot of people have a question. This is the thing. Cancer is often like my back pain, right? You really don't know, right? You really can't say. You can't be sure. So, so okay, with that, we're going to say good morning to Fatima Jallo. She says, hey, all for success. Oh, and she sends all the pride, wonderful flowers and hearts and rainbows. Thank you so much. Now, Lorna, she says, you notice that I didn't see Gabriella Windsor, which is Thomas Kingston's widow, on the balcony. Huh. Well, now that's interesting concern. Uh, you sure she wasn't hiding back there in the back anywhere, right? I saw one person standing back there, but I didn't know who that was. Huh. Okay, we got to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And good morning to you. All right, super squatties. Connie Balmer is here. Thank you so much and good morning. And she says that she looks fresh, fresh in the face and healthy in your opinion. You know, I have to admit that I have to agree in this particular circumstance. She looked thin, but she's thin anyway. So she looked a little bit thinner and she was well dressed. She looked well groomed and she did look very nice. I don't, and this is Princess Catherine we're talking about. I don't have any like bad feelings about how she looked. Now, of course, other people are going to rake over this with a fine tooth comb. Connie Palmer, thank you so much for that thought and comment. But I tend to agree with you. I tend to agree. So that's so I would like to thank all of you guys. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate that you came in here this morning. I see one more. This one is from Maya Sylvester. It says, yes, Connie Balmer. She's happy for the children. Okay, great, great. Yes, thank you so much for your commentary. I appreciate it. Yes, you're right. I have to say, I think that she seemed to look okay. The kids seemed somewhat subdued to me, but I don't want to put that out there because, well, they are getting older. So maybe they're just not as, busybodied as they once were when they were smaller. But you're correct. With that being said, I tend to think she looked fairly well. Okay. So let's what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of pause. We're all gonna lean back. Again, it's the royal firm. So you never can really believe everything that you see. And you do know that there's probably something else happening in the background. Okay. So here we are with our wonderful couple, and let's understand that the main thing that they need to do is to keep on keeping on. What we're going to make sure that we support all of the things that our wonderful couple is involved with, especially if that thing is good and upright. So they should just keep on keeping on and stay straight on their path. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Even with the difficulties that they are having. At this point in time, there's really nothing else they can do. They just must stay focused on what they are doing and not to get frustrated and feel like they're being pulled all over, but they should stay strictly on the path they've set for themselves, no matter what is thrown at them from the outside. Now, I'm still waiting for more information and more things to come from the American Riviera Orchard. I want her to continue working in that avenue, which is what a lot of people are interested in, and that is homemaking and just beautifying your space. There is a huge, huge network of people who work in that arena. And I think Ms. Markle, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, she has a very wonderful eye for things that are fashionable, trendy, and elegant. And I believe that she should continue moving in that path. So I've got my eyes open and I'm still hoping to hear more from American Riviera Orchard. And if I start to find some interesting tidbits, I'll start to drop these kinds of things also in the community aspect of my YouTube channel. So I want you all to, you know, keep the faith, stay on the right path, understand that they're going to continue to maneuver and move forward. And we, I think, are going to still see great things from the Sussex family, even though they are probably constantly feeling the squeeze of people trying to block them at every turn. I mean, the royal firm, that is their mission. So if they survive, they will continue that mission because they truly do believe that the success of Harry and Meghan is equal to their destruction. I don't know why they believe that. I don't know why they put that out in the public arena. But for some reason, they truly believe that if they allow Harry and Meghan to continue in the world and be successful, that it is going to destroy who they are all the way in the UK, right? It's as if it's some sort of strange sickness that they have. But, you know, dealing with life just in general, we've all seen this. I mean, we have all experienced being in spaces where there are people that will spend more time tearing down another individual. They'll spend more time doing that than they spend improving themselves. And people will always ask, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing that? But they actually have no answer. They don't make any sense. So again, I've showed you guys this before, but I have to remind you always, please protect your mind. Protect your mind from being captured and filled with a bunch of negativity that will do nothing but make you feel worse and bring you down. So even though we're paying attention to all of the things that are happening outside of our little bubble, and you're looking at what's happening in the news, you're looking at what's happening on television, you might even be watching what's going on in cities in and around you, understand that you still can Fill your mind with grace, truth, and love, and seek out goodness, because that way the enemy cannot sneak in lies. Because sometimes one of the greatest lies that's always sprinkled in is one of the great lies is that you should always feel miserable, right? There is a campaign worldwide, and remember, this is a negative campaign coming from somewhere truly dark, but there is always this urge to try and make the entire world feel on edge, scared to death, and just in total fear and anguish at all times. Because when you have those type of emotions running through your body, it's very difficult for you to think in terms of doing something positive, or thinking in terms of doing something great, right? When you're trapped within that wall of fear and that wall of anguish and the wall of you think everything is so bad, well, you know what? It's draining. And if it's draining of your energy, the question is, well, where is that energy going? Right? You're putting your energy into that. So again, this is the point. It is at this point I have to always give my wonderful disclaimer. Again, I'm not trying to draw you into any type of cult. I'm not trying to give you any cult-like reviews or cult-like topics, but I always like to point to things that I think can help uplift, things that can help you feel better about yourself. Why? Because I'm trying to do it myself. So always try to recognize the cruelty that's going on around you, and remember where this thing is coming from. Understand where it's coming from. When you recognize the cruelty, you understand that it's because some people have no sense of purpose. Many, many people are wandering around throughout their day, and they truly do not feel that they have a real reason to exist. Zero sense of purpose, right? That is very dangerous. And it is in that realm that most of the time you are encouraged to do things that will physically help get you back on track. That is why people physically tell you, get out and exercise, get out in the sunlight, go for a walk, because it is in those moments that the juices begin to flow again and your creativity will continue to move. But you have to be moving, you have to be out, you have to be breathing in air. So many people have no sense of purpose, and thus they fill that space with how cruel they can be to someone else, because that makes them feel like they're doing things. You guys, you see this online all the time. You have people who are online typing stuff in on the keyboard about how they feel and think about somebody. And when you think about it, you have to go back in your mind and ask, who in the world is that person? Right? Who are they? Perhaps there's someone that's just sitting in their bedroom or kitchen. They have nothing to do, no one around them. Perhaps, I'm saying perhaps, right? Or they have no real mission in life. And so what they think is a real thing, they think they're in a real place when they're online typing something really nasty on the keyboard. They believe that's a real place. Okay? Sad. And then this is another thing that can be a source of cruelty, is seeking outside validation for everything, right? Do you really have to have people tell you that your hair looks nice? Do you always have to have someone tell you that your clothes look nice? And when you think about it and it translated into what we're talking about most of the time, which is all things Sussex, here you have the royal firm that, for whatever reason, the people who are followers of their followers of these people, to the point of almost some sort of sick type of worship, they feel the need. And sometimes I love to flip through some of the shows, the talk TV shows that I see in the UK. They feel the need to constantly praise almost nothing, right? They'll say things to the effect, and it doesn't matter which royal person they're talking about. It'll be something as trivial as, And I would like to report the way that he held his coffee cup. I mean, did you see the way that he tucked his pinky in under the coffee ring? It was just the cutest little thing. And I thought, oh my gosh, how wonderful. I hear people talking like that on some of the talk TV shows, and I cannot stop laughing. It is hilarious. It's the type of thing that you would say about children under age 6, right? It's the way you would speak about a toddler. Look at the way that little Sammy threw the ball. That's You talk that way about toddlers. But you have people in the UK tabloid media speaking that way about old men and women in the royal firm. You know? Oh, just the wonder. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this person, did you see that? She had these shoes on and the shoes were. It's like, what is wrong with what are you? Okay. Anyway, where was I? Outside validation. Some people constantly need outside validation. And if they don't get it, they become cruel. They throw tantrums. They have a fit. And they try to make everyone feel as miserable as they can. And we throw words out there like, oh, they just want attention. But it's really not, it's simple, but it's not just that simple. It's truly because they are lacking in self assuredness. You know, yes, I would love for people to come by my house on a daily basis and to praise me for just being me. I would love it. However, I have to be able to function without that. It's crazy. And then, of course, there's also the possibility that that cruelty is stemming from a great feeling of loss, right? There are some people that when they lose so many things or they feel like they've lost so much, they feel that they don't maintain whatever they have acquired, whether it's friends, family, relatives, or things. When they start to feel that sense of, they get a sense of loss, like they can't have anything, that nothing actually belongs to them. They can't keep anything. Those feelings, they can definitely bring you into a dark place and you'll begin to feel a sense of loss. And that too will make people extremely cruel. All right. So remember these things, folks. Keep those things in mind and please protect your well being. So here's what we're going to wrap up with. And I always go to some of the scriptures that I like. No, you do not have to come to church with me. Okay. You could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. And also, I am not recruiting people for any type of religious purposes. Let me make sure I say that. But I hope you enjoy some of the scripture that I find because every now and then I just find them to be entertaining and supportive of something that I'm thinking about. So remember, Philippians, what does they say? I can do all this through him who gives me strength. And that's for folks who can understand that sense is that if you maintain the strength in what you believe, trust, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. Nothing is easy, but that the hard work and sometimes the pain brings the joy. Okay? So don't forget that. And then we have Romans, 2nd Romans 15:5, and it says, may the God who gives endurance and encouragement give you the same attitude of mind toward each other that Jesus Christ had. So, what is that saying? It's that we are here in a sense by grace. This is what, remember, I'm coming from a religious point of view for this particular moment. And so it is with that grace you should give to other people, right? In other words, you're doing well, you're doing okay, even if you're going through some ardent struggle, even if you're going through it, you have to remember that you are fortunate to be going through it and that you will come out on the other side. So keep that in mind, stay encouraged, and keep up your endurance. Keep that going. So, folks, with that, I want to do my last look. I love my little musical drum rolls and all sorts of stuff. So, with that, I want to let you all know that we're wrapping it up. So, stay focused and make sure that you, by all means, you keep winning. And I hope to see you back here next week, same time, same channel. And guys, click that like button. Don't forget to do that. Share. Don't forget to do that. And subscribe.